This video is to show a new knife that I have, but mostly to say thank you to my friends Daniele Mauro, the great Italian knife maker, great man, and Kyle Thomas from the US. I'll try and make this a bit shorter. So a couple of years ago there was talk about Daniele Mauro designing 13 knives, the same as what Jimmy Lyle did for First Blood, and they used 6 of the 13 knives in the movie or on the set. They were sent to the set. The other 6 were sold to collectors or as gifts. Anyway, so the 13 knives that Daniel made were all tributes to the number 1 of 13, and the actual number 1 of 13 for years was in Stallone's collection until a few years ago it went up for auction, and Kyle was lucky enough to buy it, so it's now in his personal collection. And so I ordered the number 1 of 13 tribute knives, and after a couple of years it all sort of came into fruition, and each knife had a different team member from the Baker team. If you remember the Rambo movies, he was part of the Baker team, and his name, John Rambo's name, was Raven. So I ordered the Raven. I was very lucky to have that opportunity, and very grateful to get that opportunity. And anyway, once they were all ready before Christmas, they were shipped out, and everyone got their knives apart from me, because customs had somebody there that either liked the knife and didn't want it to get to me, or they don't quite know the laws with what's prohibited and not. So they deemed my knife, after weeks and weeks of me emailing and over 10 hours of phone calls to different people with the shipping company and customs, I didn't get the knife. At the end of the story, I didn't get the knife, and so either it's sitting in customs somewhere confiscated, or the person that said it was prohibited has got it on his mantelpiece. Yeah, I won't say what I think of that person if that's what happened, but I don't know for sure. So anyway, Kyle was given this knife, which says 1 of 13, from Daniel, for all the photos and conversations he had with Daniel to help make the knife so accurate, like his 1 of 13. And when Kyle heard that mine was confiscated, he was such a kind friend that he sent me his knife. He does have a YouTube video, which I'll put in a link, where he has them side by side to do a comparison, and he goes on to say that it is the most accurate 1 of 13 tributes that he's seen, which is really cool. And I knew that it would be by the time Daniel finished the knives, because he's so passionate and thorough with everything. And there's a couple of little differences, as you'll see if you watch that video, like the thread inside the cap, it's a little bit thicker. Not much. The thickness of the blade is very slightly thicker on this one, but the grinds and everything spot on. And the grinds on the blade, that's the most important thing for us collectors. And the number 1 of 13 Lile that Kyle has a plate just like that one that was welded onto the knife, because when it was rushed out to the movie set, they put First Blood, they stamped it in or engraved it into the knife, and the first one, because they're in a hurry, they spelled it wrong. It was First Blood, so they welded the plate on just like that and wrote First Blood on it. So Daniel has put a magnet, so it's optional to have it on there or not, and I might be able to get it engraved First Blood. If I can get it done accurately, I will. And then on the other side, 1 of 13 Mauro. The one that was confiscated had that, but on this side it said Raven 1 of 13. So I didn't end up with the Raven, but I did get the one of a kind 1 of 13. No one else has this knife. The other 12 knives that are out there have different Baker team members engraved on them or stamped. And so I love this knife, and I'm so grateful. I'll be sending Kyle and Danielle some gifts out very soon, just to show some appreciation. And so what else? And I'm getting a sheath made for it. It didn't come with a sheath. So the sheath for the knives and the one that was confiscated were beautiful, high quality sheaths made by Michael Perry. They were very movie accurate. So that was something extra to add to my heartbreak. Had the certificate, had this amazing soft bag. Also, I'll show you the other thing that the one that was confiscated had. These compasses are getting very hard to find. Movie compass, the old brass one. You can see it's old. It's got a bit of scratches, which is all cool because it's an old compass, but it's movie accurate. And yeah, so one of them is either in custom sitting there, or as I said, on someone's shelf. And yeah, so there you have it. And Michael is going to make me a sheath for this knife in a couple of months, which I'm looking forward to. He's a busy man because people know his quality work. It's really good that he's getting busier because he deserves to be successful. He makes amazing sheaths, especially for us knife lovers and movie knife collectors and all that sort of thing. So Daniele Mauro, gracias. Kyle, thank you so much, mate. You guys are amazing. And Daniel, through the whole process, when we were stressing about the shipping and whether it was going to get here, he was so supportive through it all and said, no matter what, you'll end up with a knife at the end of it. And he was right. And there's still more that we're going to do together, more business. And so there you go. Very lucky. After something that was upsetting and stressful. So for, I don't know how long it was, at least a month through the Christmas break, that's what I was having to deal with. And I've got this beauty at the end of it. So very grateful. And my next video will be to show the rest of my knives that Danielle has made, because they are awesome. Okay, hope everyone's having a good beginning to the year.